grab your pens and papers. You're going to be able to take some great notes, and maybe you'll even use AI to summarize it at the end. So as we get started, I want you to please enjoy this video introduction.
In a world where business success is constantly redefined, Saeks has helped companies generate over $1 billion in sales worldwide. From startups to Fortune 500s, Ford is widely recognized as a business growth accelerator. With over 20 years of experience, he has authored several books, been awarded 3 U.S. patents, and received numerous industry awards. Tenacity and innovation are what fuels this revenue-generating powerhouse. From grassroots to Google and beyond, Ford provides his clients with fresh perspectives and doable tactics to resolve marketing, operations, and growth challenges. As president of Prime Concepts Group, founder of the Accelerated Growth System, and host of Fortify Live, Ford specializes in helping businesses solve their biggest challenges and unleash the power of AI innovations. He's an avid cyclist, global traveler, and outdoor enthusiast, channeling his drive for exploration and resilience both on trails and in guiding organizations to new heights. We're happy to have him here with us today. So please, give a warm welcome to Saeks.
Thank you, everybody. Imagine it's a typical Monday morning. You're rushing to get ready for work, you've got your coffee in hand, and your phone starts to buzz with a notification. It's your AI assistant reminding you of a meeting that you didn't even remember scheduling. So you get in your car, and you've already got your route mapped by your GPS because of travel, and as you drive, your favorite podcast starts playing automatically. Now, you didn't choose it, AI did, based on your preferences. Now, as you arrive to work, you notice that your inbox is already sorted with priority messages at the top. And once again, AI has done it. It's worked silently in the background to make your day a lot easier. Now, I want you to think about this. All of these small actions, your AI assistance reminder, the GPS tracking, the podcast choice, the email sorting, it all happened without you even thinking about it. And that's the power of AI. It's already here, quietly making decisions for all of us, even without us even noticing. Now, today we're going to pull back the curtain on this invisible force and show you how you can harness it for yourself, no matter what your role is or what industry you're in. So let's dive into the world of AI and discover how it has evolved into the tool that we rely on today and the potential it holds for tomorrow. Now, I will be monitoring the chat, or my team will be monitoring the chat. We'll stick around after the 1 hour. I'll keep the recording going, but we have a 1 hour presentation here, so if you have to drop off, I get it. But then I'm going to stick around and open it up for deeper questions and answers for anything that you might not have got your questions answered during the live presentation. Keep in mind, this is going to be relevant for all levels of experience. And so I want you to think about your role right now. Are you in operations, finance, accounting? Maybe you're responsible in customer service for the customer experience, or maybe you're involved in sales or marketing, regardless of your role. And we've got people on today's session from multiple different companies, from brands. We got private equity groups, we got franchisors, we got franchisees, we have other experts. And that brings me to the point of anybody with a laptop right now is calling themselves an expert in AI. So just keep in mind, this topic is changing so rapidly. I'm glad you tuned in today. I can guarantee no matter what your role is or your level of experience, you're going to walk away with tangible, tactical things that you can use to accelerate your business. So what are we going to cover? We're going to cover best practices. We're going to look at some practical examples. We're going to talk about prompting, but maybe differently than what you've heard before. We're going to talk about the pitfalls and how to integrate it into your organization, because we have a lot of brands and executives on here. And then, of course, a lot of resources. What can you actually do with it? Now, I went ahead, when everybody registered, you answered a few questions. I took that Excel spreadsheet, actually Devin did, she's monitoring this right now, and she uploaded it to ChatGPT, and she said, Ford's getting ready to prepare a webinar based on these survey results. Can you make a word cloud based on all the titles that you can figure out from all the attendees? So we got a couple hundred people who registered, actually about 300, and it went through the emails, it understood the brands, it understood the titles. So we've got management, services, fitness, consulting, a lot of franchise companies, like I said, because I speak a lot in franchising, financial, real estate, commercial, commerce. So any role was covered. And so then we said, okay, based on these survey results, what does the audience want? Now, I want you to be thinking as we go through this today, it's not about the slides, okay? It's about critical thinking. It's about having the mindset that says, if you think it, you can do it. So even if you've heard some of these things before, remember, like I always say, it's not what you know, it's how well you execute. So as we lay the foundation today, and we go through all these different things that we're going to cover, if you think it, you can do it. There's probably a tool for it, and it's advancing faster than you ever thought possible. So this is what everybody said that they wanted. They wanted to understand new tools. They wanted to improve productivity and efficiency. They wanted practical applications and actionable tips that they can use. And then, of course, security and best practices. Whenever I present, I always ask the audience on a scale of 1 to 10, how experienced are you? And even with the survey that I asked all of you today, you know, some of you rated yourself a lot higher than you probably are, but you don't know what you don't know. So all I'm asking you is be open-minded, be coachable, and play along and play full out. And I guarantee you're going to get some amazing insights from today's session. Now, I don't really care about technology. A lot of you know I'm also the CEO of a digital agency called Prime Concept. Some of you are my clients. And of course, some of you are my speaking clients that have maybe heard and speak around the globe, either as a keynote or breakout speaker. And I don't really care about technology, and I don't want you to get seduced by technology either. I want you to realize that the only reason I care about this topic is if it's going to help me grow my business. And these are the only ways you're going to grow. You're either going to expand your influence and reach. So right now, ask yourself, what if you're in business, what is your reach? What is your reach? Your territory, maybe your local area marketing, or maybe you're a global organization. But what's your reach? Using AI can help you expand your influence by creating all different types of content. It's multimodal. So that's video, audio, and text, and anything you can think it can create now. It can help you increase your subscribers. Now, to grow a business, you have your in-house list, which is your most valuable asset, and then you have subscribers on your social media. So you could say subscribers, followers, likes, comments, and so forth. But what is your reach through your digital footprint? And then, of course, how can we use AI to generate leads? How can we use marketing automation and workflows to actually shorten the sales cycle and make it easier to get leads? Because we know in business, there's increased competition, there's challenges in the economy, there's compliance and government regulation, and it's hard to find good staff and engage and retain them. And then you got profit margins being squeezed. There's a whole host of challenges. Well, using AI can help you generate better customer experiences and get more leads. And then, of course, the next way to grow, the fourth way, is new and repeat sales, right? So when you think about sales, you don't want more customers. You want higher value customers or clients you guys can adapt for your business. And then you want to increase the average transaction. You want to increase the frequency of purchase. So how can you make your buying process frictionless? And then, of course, the big one, how can you improve efficiencies? Which, if you can't increase top line revenue, how do you improve bottom line revenue? By improving your operational expertise. And that is what today is about. So while I am going to be talking about AI, I'm going to look through it through the lens of those 5 things. Okay. How do I expand my influence? How do I build my subscriber list? How do I get leads? How do I get sales? And more importantly, what can I do that I can replace people with? Now, I love people. I understand, people's thing, and everybody goes high tech. You're going to want to stay high touch. So there's one of your next tips. While everybody's, trying to look at how they can replace humans using AI, and it is going to replace millions of jobs in this year alone, it's also going to create a lot of opportunities. So while you're sitting here thinking about this, I want you to be thinking critically, how is this going to affect my role, my company's role, my customer experience? Maybe you're going to map out your customer journey, and you're going to look at all the different ways that it can be affected. All right, so we've talked about the benefits. It can help you save time. It can help you make better decisions, but there's also a lot of pitfalls that we're going to take a look at. So just to level set everybody, AI tools right now can generate human-like text, images, audio, and video based on a prompt. A prompt is just a fancy way of giving it instructions. Now, in the early days, a year ago, you had to be really specific with your prompts. Now AI's gotten a lot smarter, and you can talk to it like a human. So one of your next takeaways is to treat it as an expert, but monitor it like an intern. I'll say that a little bit later in the presentation. But when you're using AI tools, don't treat it like you do Google, where you just ask it a simple question. Have a complex conversation about how you actually can get the results that you want. It is multimodal. All right, AI can see. So I'll play this short little video. So I took an image from Google. Yes, it was copyright images, but it's okay. I pasted in ChatGPT and I said, describe this image and tell me where it's at. Immediately, the AI knew, oh, it's an image of Las Vegas. It's in Nevada. Then I said, what else can you tell me in more detail? And then it gave me the hotels that are in the photo with descriptions of them detailed and the atmosphere. So I want you to ask yourself, if AI can see, how can you use AI using photos on your phone or photos that you upload from your computer? So if you haven't tried that before, try it. It's amazing. So again, it can see, it can deduct images. I know there's an old story, take a picture of your refrigerator and look at all the ingredients and tell me what I can make for dinner. Okay, that's great, but it also can do a lot more. So think about multimodal and how can you use it. All right, so now some of you have seen the avatars that are going around. It's much more common. There's dozens of sites that do it. So this is a completely driven AI video.
Shy attendees. This was 100% created by AI using Ford's voice. I have the power to make him say anything. That's scary. Remember, AI is not just the future. It's the present, radically transforming every industry before our eyes. It's creating unprecedented efficiencies and opportunities. But with this power, we must ensure ethical and inclusive development. Hola, asistentes. ¿Alguien en la audiencia habla español? Este clip también fue creado al 100% por IA usando la voz de Ford, porque él no habla español. Piensen en las posibilidades.
Now, when I do that live in a keynote, I actually ask someone to come up on stage that speaks Spanish, and I grab my cell phone and I open up ChatGPT and I just say, act as my interpreter and whatever the language is. And when you hear English, convert it to Portuguese, let's say. And when you hear Portuguese, convert it to English. So again, it can see, it can hear, it's multimodal. So I want you to expand your vision of what AI can do. Yes, it can write a 900-word blog post on X and help you with content. But when everybody can create content, it levels the playing field. When everybody's using AI to generate content and the search engines are using AI to index the content, all boats rise with the tide. It's going to become pretty much worthless in the future. And so I predict that AI and SEO is not even going to matter in the future as much as we think it does now, because everybody's going to be able to create such a massive content. There's still an opportunity for maybe the next 6 to 8 months. So I'm not saying you shouldn't, you should put your head in the sand and not create content, but just understand that as AI detection tools get stronger, the AI tools get better. They're writing more humanistic now. I mean, you can go to Google and search for Google AI Assistant setting an appointment at a hair salon. And that's from 6 years ago. And now it stutters, it uses filler words, it uses, it coughs. If you ask it if it's an AI, it says, of course I'm not an AI. I mean, it's gotten so real. And yes, it's a little bit spooky as you get into that. So anyway, it can see, it can think. I want to make sure you're taking notes. I'm not going to play the little video to do that. Let's go to this key point. This is a really important one. I used to say treat as an intern, and then the Rocky Mountain AI group, which is probably on here, Dan was on here. He sent a text last time I did the presentation. Ford, treat AI as a Harvard MBA, but monitor it like an intern. So I'm going to give him credit for that, a twist, because I used to just say treat it as an intern. But now I've been saying treat it as an expert, because it is. The AI is I'm going to say 400 or 500 times smarter than the smartest human. So treat it like an expert, but monitor it like an intern. So I want you to imagine a fictional brand. I made it up. Let's call it Metro Burger. It's a beloved new fast food chain driving headfirst into AI, but it doesn't have a clear strategy. So what do? They roll out an AI-powered kitchen management system across all their franchises, promising to revolutionize efficiency. However, they quickly find themselves in a lot of hot water. Why? Because the AI was trained on data from urban locations, and it couldn't really adapt to the rhythms of suburban and rural franchises. And that led to increased food waste and to a bunch of angry customers. All right, so what happens? Well, the franchisees, they feel blindsided. They begin to rebel. Their legal team scrambles to address privacy concerns because they didn't set up processes in place to protect the customer data, and they didn't have proper disclosures. Now, meanwhile, the marketing department's AI-generated ads inadvertently used copyrighted material, resulting in a big PR nightmare. Now, as complaints piled up, Metro Burger's leadership team was fractured. The innovation-based CEO clashed with the risk-averse CFO. The brand's reputation took a hit, and regulatory bodies started to ask a whole bunch of questions. Metro Burger learned the hard way that AI implementation requires careful planning, clear communication, and robust training, and a thorough understanding of legal and ethical implications. So their journey went from AI enthusiasm to AI crisis, and that serves as a cautionary tale for businesses just like yours of all sizes. So in the rush to innovate, don't forget the fundamentals of good business practices and risk management. So I'm going to go ahead and cover some of the main risks. Stick with me. We're going to have some live examples, but I promise to make sure that we covered the pitfalls. And so I want to talk a little bit about the security and ethical concerns. So first, there's data privacy, right? So whether you're a solopreneur or you're working with a business, every AI tool has privacy settings. Now, whether they honor them, that's a whole different question. But no matter what tool you're using, go to settings and tell it you do not want your data being used to train the AI. Look, AI companies know that you're not going to use a tool that doesn't allow privacy. That's why Copilot has security settings for Microsoft tools. Gemini has it. Claude has it. Perplexity has it. Meta has it. They all have settings. So data privacy, make sure in your company you set clear boundaries to prevent the staff from using tools carelessly or sharing sensitive data. And I got news for you. If you're in business right now and you've got employees, they are already using AI. Even if they say they're not, I guarantee you they are using it. And worse, AI tools are now being used to hack systems. Okay, what's another pitfall? Avoid common AI deployment errors where you overpromise capabilities and you underestimate the need for human oversight. I can't stress that enough, how important human oversight is to this whole equation. You've heard me say it now about a dozen times. Make sure you stay with the human oversight. Liabilities. Well, your company's going to be liable for legal, ethical, and financial risks linked to AI, particularly around IP and accountability. And this always comes up. I mean, I'm an author. I've got several books I've written, some in franchising, some for success. And my books, even once they're uploaded to Amazon, surprisingly enough, they're already in Google, which, that's a whole different story. So the whole concept of intellectual property is changing. And for the purposes of this recording, this is for information and educational purposes only. I am not giving you legal advice, so do your own due diligence, but just keep in mind that you might be opening to liabilities if you're using these tools. Another big one is biased results. Look, I don't want to get into anything right now. I'm certainly not political, but look, all the AI tools seem to be a bit biased. They give false information. They can hallucinate. So again, strong oversight, because it will give you the wrong data. You can't just set and forget it. If you're going to implement AI, make sure you adopt a phased approach to AI, balancing innovation with the risks. I always think, I learned this, 30 years ago, start simple, get complicated later. So don't try to do everything, do it in stages. Next, C-suite conflicts. This is a big one. Every time I sit on a few boards, I'm a strategic advisor to a few companies, and around the room, the CEOs are always concerned about getting everybody on the same page with the company's decisions, how they're going to use AI, and how it's going to help them with their business goals. So it is definitely something that as a business, you need to be thinking about how are you going to communicate to your C-level exec, your other team members, and then of course, if you have a board, how are you going to communicate to the board, how you're going to do it. I want you to ensure compliance with data privacy laws, and this is different in different countries. So this came up in one of my events where in the US, they were able to do certain things, but in Asia, they weren't. And so, AI now is global and the genie's out of the bottle. You're not going to be able to put it back in as much as you might say, well, I want government regulations. Just good luck on that. That's all I'm going to say. But make sure you have data privacy standards in your company. and you check the international regulations in case you're using, you've got a brand that's global. And then of course, risk management. This is a big one. Make sure you have some type of policy. What are you going to do if something goes wrong? If someone uses AI inappropriately, which is happening all the time right now, or they're making stuff up, or it's plagiarizing content, it's going to lead to operational disruptions and reputational damage. So boy, I'm really glad we scared everybody away from AI, but there's a lot of good things that it can do too. All right. So real quickly, there's more than 3 large language models. You're going to hear the term thrown around a lot. Just understand that there are basic brains, large language models that the other tools are built upon that access and use them as the engine. I only listed 3 here. And again, this is generic. Do not bother putting in the comments, Ford's wrong about this. It doesn't matter. Some things will make you smarter. They won't make you any more money. So the concept is just understand there's large language models, and those are getting trained minute by minute. And they're becoming smarter and smarter and more aware. There's even AI models now. MIT, it's coming up actually here in the next slide. Let me just go to it then. It's probably coming up right here. Yeah, right here. So researchers at MIT say that they've proven that large language models can do more than mimic data. It more than just process large billions of dollar size of data that it's already been trained on. That means that it's created its own language. It can think. I'm saying it's a sentient being. And the biggest challenge going forward for all of us is going to be determining what's real going forward. These tools are, sorry, my little headphones in the way there. These tools are getting better and better all the time. Like that AI avatar I played for you, that was some 6 months ago. Now, HeyGen, the tool that I use, is even better. And we're going to show some new tools that are even better today. But just know that it's going to be harder and harder to know what's real and what's fake. And again, if in those of us in business like I am, it's going to make that personal connection, physically being in the room with someone, even more valuable. So I don't worry about it as a business keynote speaker and expert that does presentations around the world. I'm not worried about it because it's going to make that even more valuable, where people are going to want to disconnect and get away from that type of thing. All right, so let's dive right into a couple basics. If you haven't already downloaded ChatGPT to your phone, there's other models, of course. But download it on your phone. Carry it in you always leave your house with 3 things: your keys, your wallet, and your purse, and your phone. If you leave your phone at home, what do? You're going to go back and get it. So you have this device in your pocket. So I want you to go and download it. It's a regular app. You can get it from the iPhone store, and you can get it from the Google Play Store, Android store, and get it on your phone and start using it. I actually use it on the way to an office. I'll go ahead and turn AI on, and I use the audio version, and I'll have a conversation with the AI while I'm driving. So I'll say, hey, act as my life coach today. I'm trying to make better food choices. What can you tell me about the keto diet? And I'm having this conversation with an expert on nutrition, or maybe on business, or maybe I have a challenging situation. So you can actually have interactive conversations, and that's a whole new thing. It's not just writing content anymore. It's actually becoming your personal advisor, your personal assistant. So get it on your phone. Look for the white logo. Even though ChatGPT's logo is green, only get the white logo or you're going to get the wrong one. If you have a team, you can invest in the team level. That allows you to coordinate and collaborate with your team members. I use the plus level for $20 a month, and I would pay 10 times that. All right, so here's some tools. I'm just going to put this full screen just for the video recording for just a moment. There are more tools, everybody. But if you go to profitrichresults.com/AI-tools, you're going to get the main ones. So what are they? You got ChatGPT. Everybody by now has probably heard about it and used it and got an account. But if you're sitting on the sidelines, make sure you get the account. Now, if you're already an advanced user, okay, great. We're going to get there. Just a couple seconds here. Copilot is built into all the Microsoft products, and it's going to be built into all the Microsoft PCs. I actually have a laptop, but I just got a new laptop, and Copilot's installed on the laptop because the companies understand that you're going to want to use the AI tools in a closed environment. ChatGPT has an enterprise version, and again, they have different security settings that I mentioned. The next one is Gemini. I believe that's by Google. I believe that Gemini is probably going to be the winner in the future. Right now, I use it when I want to have it pull data from Google, because Gemini is connected to Google and Google Trends and a bunch of all the YouTube and all the Google products. So eventually I think Google's going to win out, but right now, man, it just gets too many biased results, and it just isn't up to speed. But I don't think, maybe you think it's great, but again, I want you to know about it. One of my favorites right now is Perplexity, and I like to explain that as something that sits on top of ChatGPT and some of the AI models. So Perplexity seems to give me more current and relevant data for research. It does cite its sources, so I know where did it pull the information from. Did it just make it up or did it hallucinate? So Perplexity. And then Claude. Whenever I'm writing content, I use Anthropic's Claude, and all these are coming up with new versions. I know it says Claude 3. By now, it's probably Claude 4. I didn't actually look at the version, but I use Claude, and those are the main ones from the large language model type tools that I use. And then I'll go into several others that we use that give it a lot more advanced. But you can get these on the Apple Store and the Google Play Store and the App Store, and you can also use them on web browsers, and you can use them on your phone. All right. Again, don't get seduced by technology. If you think you can do it, it's multimodal. Practice uploading photos, practice having conversations, practice using the audio version. The audio is getting quicker. The challenge with audio right now is when you use audio with AI, it has to convert the voice to text. Then it has to go to large language model and do whatever task you asked it to do. And then it has to convert it back to voice, back to your ear. But that's getting faster and faster. It's going to be instantaneously within the next 30 to 60 days. It's actually pretty quick now if you have good bandwidth, but just think about how you're using it for your role. If you're new, which I don't think anybody is right now, but I just make sure I have it, make sure you go online. You can go to YouTube and type in any of my webinars that I've done. I've been doing these now for about a year. You can watch some of the earlier ones that had more basics. But basically, any of the tools, this is like a web browser. You're going to have some type of pull down with the new chat. It's going to be able to enter the prompt in the bottom, and then it's going to create history. So they all basically work the same. Perplexity works the same. Gemini works the same. You're going to go and hit new. You're going to give it the instructions you want, and then it's going to save the conversation. The key thread here is it is in threads. So think of each communication as a thread, and if you want to have a communication on a different topic, create a new thread. All right, moving on. We're getting a little bit more technical here. Layered conversations. Remember I mentioned that earlier. Garbage in, garbage out. The more specific you ask it. Probably the best prompt that you can all add starting today, regardless of what tool you use. Before you hit enter, ask, do you understand? And if not, ask me clarifying questions before you perform the task. And AI will have a conversation with you. Maybe it's to get to know your business, your brand, your ideal customer, the situation, the personality style, the details of whatever it is you're trying to do. And remember, AI can program. It can write code. It can write programming code. It can debug programming code. It's not just text, everybody. It has all the programming languages. It's multimodal. It can speak in every language, even its own language. So think in terms of how you can interact with it, being much more specific. I have 7 keys to prompting, but that's kind of 6 months ago, really, if you just treat it like a human. And I recommend saying hello and goodbye and thank you, not because the AI tool needs it, because you're going to be more comfortable understanding how to interact with it. So it's a little bit scary. I get it, but that will certainly help you. All right, so let's take a look at using AI in a sales situation to overcome objections. So for those of you that are responsible for sales, you could type a prompt in. I've put it in here. I'll put it full screen so you can see it. And so the prompt is, I sell software to improve inventory management. Your job is to help train my staff on how to overcome the top sales objections. List the objections and overturns with the specific words to say and put the results into a table. So you see, I gave it very specific instructions. All right, let's go ahead and see what this looks like. Here we go. So I put the prompt into ChatGPT. I hit go. It updates ChatGPT's memory. And now it's giving me the common objections. The price is too high. We already have a solution. I have no lack of budget. We have skepticism. We have concerns about existing systems. We have fear of change, questions about data, lack. So now I say, now add what to say, adapting each response to the different personality styles. Because again, someone with a get it done personality is different than get along or get it right. And so now you don't worry about what it says on the screen. Just understand that it's actually building the table of all the responses. So you could use AI right now to say, I work for XYZ company. Here's our brand. Here's our model. Here you could upload your whole sales training guide and say, based on this training guide, how can I train my staff to overcome objections? Now, yes, custom GPTs. Yes, there's models that can help you do this. And we're going to get into that. But just for those of you, we're trying to ramp it up from beginner, intermediate, advanced, and then keep going. So I can get everybody active. And of course, Devin, I hope you're looking at the chat. So I'll be looking at those questions here in about 30 minutes. And for those of you who stick around, I'm going to open it up for Q&A at the end when we get done here. Okay, so let's talk about real-time role play. So this is something that I thought was really cool, that I would use the audio version, and I would go to a Gemini or to ChatGPT. I'd using my phone, and I would say, I want you to simulate a realistic scenario where I can practice dealing with an upset customer. You'll play the role of a customer and provide me with the necessary challenges and feedback to improve my skills in a safe and controlled environment. So I would actually use AI, have a conversation, and it would actually interact with me, and then it would summarize it at the end. So here's an example. This is the summary at the end of the example. So I'm not going to do that example live, but hello, I'm extremely upset with your software objectives. So then it tells me exactly how to solve it. And then it actually walked through a real-time scenario where I could solve it. So what I want you to be thinking about is, again, how can you use it? I'm not here to give you the answers. I'm here to give you the strategies and the insights and the tactics and the mindset so you can actually use these tools to your advantage. Now, this is another tool. Now, the full disclosure, I am an affiliate for this. So if you use Ford25 on this, I get like 5%, 10% or something like that. But you can check this out without going to my affiliate program. You can go to replay.sale. This is on my website, which is Profit Rich Results, replay-sale. But you can just go to Google their website and just go without having to go through my affiliate thing. But here's what I like about this program. So Chase Meredith has created a company called replay.sale that unlocks the future of role playing. And I really like it because as a speaker, author, trainer, and consultant, I can tell people to go to AI and do it. But this tool is actually amazing. He's already customized it for all these different scenarios. I actually have a custom scenario for a gym. We have a lot of fitness franchisees that are a part of this. I've spoke for a lot of them, including the top 3. And one of the things that always happens in a franchise brand is the members want to cancel their membership. And so you can have an AI train your staff on how to handle a disgruntled customer that's calling maybe about cleanliness, or maybe there's equipment that needs to be fixed, or maybe there's something else with the experience that they need to fix. And you can use AI to shorten the learning curve. So you can use it for sales scenarios, customer service training, mainly sales training, but it really helps get your salespeople up to speed. And if you're in sales, you need to go check it out because it's going to make you better. Because at the end of the day, you're only going to end up with 4 or 5 common objections, but you need to know how to answer them in a way that doesn't sound scripted, that's natural, customer-centric, and value-added. So again, you can check that out later. It's Replay or replay.sale. It's just an AI tool that you can use to do that. As far as AI avatars, like I said, I'll play this just for a second. I'm not going to play the whole video, but some of you have seen this. There's really only 4 ways to grow a business. Number 1, you want more clients, but we don't want more clients. We want higher value clients.
Número 2, aumentar la transacción
So that's a video
promedio.
I uploaded in
Sucede
English.
al agrupar
And you'll
o
watch my
agregar
mouth is
mejoras de
actually
valor
monitoring.
y
This is from
ventas
6 months
cruzadas.
ago I did this.
Et numéro 3, comment augmentez-vous les ventes?
So it can speak 47 different languages. And so you can take English videos. Maybe you're in your company, you have an intranet with training videos. You can upload them to a company called HeyGen and use a tool. There's many tools now that can do it. The one I use is listed here. at HeyGen, and it's what I feel it does the best. But again, every time one model excels and the next one they're always leapfrogging each other. The concept is the same though. How can you use AI tools to duplicate yourself? Now, I would never use an AI generated tool for, my presentations or anything like that, but I would certainly use it for in-house training or maybe following up or something that's automated. Anything you do repetitively, you should think about how can you use AI tools. There's all kinds of, we're going to get into, that do custom replacements of the voice and the name and can do it like Be Human. You can go check out Bhuman.ai. There's Gan, AI. Devin, I think you can type in the chat if I'm saying the wrong extension. But there are lots of tools right now that can do it. So don't get seduced by technology. Just ask yourself, where could I use AI to help me leverage these tools? Now, let's go a little bit more advanced. So just a little level set. We're right on time here. We talked about the importance of AI. We talked about the 5 ways to grow a business. We talked about treat AI as an expert, but monitor it like a human. We talked about the 7 or 8 things you need to be concerned about for security and ethical concerns, and if you're going to deploy AI in your organization. And then we went into some of the basics, downloading some of the tools, and that it's multimodal and you can use a lot of these different things. And so I'm going to call that level 1. Level 1 is you're logging into a tool, you're asking it to perform a series of tasks or a task, and it's performing whatever it is, whether it's on a programming side, debugging side, content side, large data analysis. I mean, it can analyze large volumes of data. It's quite amazing, but if you think it, you can do it, right? So now I want to move into the next phase, which is using AI tools together to revolutionize your workflow. That's a fancy way of saying, how can I get data inside and outside of other programs to get it to do things that are fancier? The first tool that I'm going to take you to is Zapier. It's a great tool. You can actually go, let me see if it goes to the next slide. Yeah, so central.zapier.com. But first I'm going to go back here. I'll play video number 12 real quick. Here we go. So you can go to Zapier and you can type in what you want it to do. So I gave it a task. I'm just going to tell you what the task is and I'll come back. The task is, when you register for the webinar, it's going to take your name. It's going to put it into Zoho. It's going to flag it and tag it in Zoho that you were on the AI webinar from August 2024. Then it's going to parse the data, put it onto an Excel spreadsheet. Then it's going to take the data and go over to Be Human and create a custom video, create a custom landing page, send the link back along with the video link, and create an email. So it's going to automate. Now, if you're like, what the hell? He's talking too. Oops, I said it. Sorry, Katrina. I almost made it. But what I would say is, if you think too fast, don't worry about it. Just understand, write down on paper or use a mind mapper and map out your processes. We have a contact form. I want them to go to the CRM, and I want to send a customized response. So in my case, I wanted to register people on Zoom. I wanted to add them to my CRM system, and I wanted them to get a customized message. So that was the workflow that I was just showing you. And now this one at Zapier Central, this is where you can go explore and experiment. You can just use Zapier's AI tool to help find the solution. So it can do custom commands. It has action. So there's my post. I have a Gravity form on my website. I want to capture data and get. So now I told it what I wanted, and Zapier came up with the workflow. So it actually solved it for me. So it actually said, okay, do this, connect these accounts. Again, you're hearing me like a broken record. If you think it, you can do it. Go to Zapier and play with the AI tool in plain English. I have this data in these systems and I want it to do X. And Zapier will come up with the workflow and actually build the workflow for you. And it'll say, maybe you want to have it take an order from WooCommerce on your website and you want to add it to QuickBooks. Okay, it can do that. I mean, it can do over, I think, 6,000 integrations So, most of the popular data sets that all of us are going to be using, Zapier can use. So make sure you check out and if you practice on your workflows. That's the area that I'm really specializing in now, is going into organizations, identifying how they can improve their operations, improve their sales, improve their customer experience. We're looking at their tech stack, we're looking at their data, we're looking at their customer journey, and then we're mapping this out and creating those workflows for them. Because a lot of people, okay, I'm telling you how to do it, but you're gonna be like, I don't want to do it. And if it's not the highest and best use of your time, hire somebody like me to do that. If you have an association of members, hire me to come in and speak. Yes, it's a shameless plug, but why wouldn't I want to mention that at where it's relevant? If you're confused about a topic, there is training that you can get from me or other experts that can help you with the strategy and the tactic to be able to do this. Okay, next is chatbots. Now, I resisted chatbots for a long time because I always had to program the chatbot with every question and every answer. I had to do branch learning. If a visitor says X, say Y. Well, those days are gone. Chatbots are very powerful now. I use Zapier's chatbot. There's dozens of tools out there that you can use for chatbots. But if you don't have a chatbot on your website, that should be an action step for you. And get one that's more realistic and lifelike. The reason I like Zapier's is because I trained it on who I am, and then I was allowed it to deploy on my website. So if you go to primeconcepts.com, which is not on the screen, or profitrichresults.com, which is my speaker expert site, go to the corner and look at the chatbot. Ask it questions. Try to trick it. You're dealing with an AI assistant that's been programmed by me to stay in its lane. And if you ask too many questions, it's going to say, hey, it sounds like you should talk to somebody, and here's the phone number. And so it's programmed not to just give the same answers every time. The right answer is yes, but do it differently with narrative, and then to capture the lead. Because the whole reason that if you're on the website and you're using a chatbot, I want to capture the lead, but I want to build rapport, trust, and communication first. And so that's what the chatbot does. So let's go ahead and play that one real quick. So here's a chatbot. It opens up. How can I assist you? Are you looking to book Ford? What are his topics? Now it knows my website, so it's answering this from my website. It's not answering this because I told it what to say. Does he know anything about AI? Absolutely. He's got a program on it. He does consulting on it. He has tools on it. Here's a virtual presentation. Who is Devin Horning? She's on my team. Devin's a key member of Prime Concept. She's a marketing rock star. And now, because it knows you're kind of digging deep, it says, I'm happy to help you with any other questions or information. Before we continue, can I get your name? And it's going to continue to have a natural conversation to capture your name and your email and your contact information so that we can follow up and build a relationship. So think about the customer journey. Think about how you can use AI to help you do that. Okay, next. Make.com. Put into the chat. I'm going to go ahead and open up the chat. I'm not going to read everything right now, but put a yes or no if you're familiar with the chat with Make.com. Yeah, I can't actually get over to it from Zoom right now. There we go. I can too, right here. Here we go. Chat. So no. It doesn't look like. We got a yes. Christina says yes. Who else? But most of you are saying no. So Make.com. This is my new favorite. Well, I like Zapier. I like Make.com because I like the interface. It's easier. Now, Make.com is just like Zapier in the sense that it helps you connect different programs together. And it connects with about 1,500, 1,600 programs, where Zapier is like 4,000 to 6,000. I can't remember the exact number. Forgive me. But Zapier has way more interfaces than Make.com. But Make.com has some really customized, really nice workflows. So I'm going to show you those. So you can, when you come in here, I'll just pull this full screen. Basically, you come in and you say, when this happens, do this. So on the one side, you have a trigger and then you have an action. So you can build it manually, or you can automate. And so this is one of the automations that I use. Every time I post a blog post on profitrichresults.com, The AI recognizes that there's a new post. It all happens automatically. All I have to do is post on WordPress. ChatGPT, OpenAI, it goes and gets that post, puts it into OpenAI. It parses out all the text so it understands what the post is about. It goes into Make.com's router and it parses out the content for Twitter, for Instagram. I don't have the whole workflow on here, but it gets you the visuals here that lets you see how it works. But it goes to X, which is, of course, Twitter. It lets you parse it again and create a file that you can upload to LinkedIn. So it lets you take and do automated templates. And these are all templates. You can go to Make.com, look online. There are a lot of templates that it can actually use. So let's just recap this last section that I just talked about. Once you've experienced all the tools and you're kind of getting some basic inputs from your tools, then start thinking about automations, marketing automations, customer sales automations, technology automations, accounting automations, data processing automations, where you're saying, I have data in these systems and I want to get them out in these systems. So that's what the next phase of this is, how you can make all those automations work. And again, you want to test them. You want to make sure your data settings are set private, but it can do some amazing things that will save you hours and hours and definitely increase your bottom line performance. All right, so we're jumping back now to a topic I mentioned a little bit earlier. It's worth repeating, which is make sure you go in and you set up your defaults. I'm going to talk a little bit about ChatGPT's defaults. And basically, when you go to custom instructions, I'll just click the video so you can see it. When you go to ChatGPT, 4.0 is the newest one as of today. You go up in the upper right-hand corner, you click on Customize GPT, and there's two questions. One is, tell me about your company and your brand, and then how do you want it to respond? So if you have not set up your custom instructions, that's your action step. Go in, set up your custom instructions so that ChatGPT can give you better responses. Okay, so you just go to settings and you go to, it has memory. You can go through all the settings right now. Memory lets you, it's a little bit different than custom instructions. You can go in and manage your memory. You can pick which voice you want to use. You can, how do you want it to control your data? Are you going to create GPTs? Do you want to connect other pieces? And then of course, you want to enable two-factor authentication so nothing gets used. What's the takeaway? Takeaway is set your defaults up. Go into ChatGPT, go down through the wizard and answer all the questions. And, when in doubt, leave it out. Don't put data up there, especially if you work for a company that you're not supposed to put up there. So the custom instructions are basically what you want ChatGPT to know and how do you want it to respond. Now, you'll notice I didn't have anything in mind because I do a lot of AI training and I don't want to have everything about my brand and my ideal customer and what I do. But I'll give you an example. When I'm not doing training, this is what it says. So this is mine. Obviously, change yours, but this is for question number 1. I'm a business growth guy with 30 years of experience. I have an agency. I generated billions of dollars in sales. I work with startups to private equity groups to Fortune 500s, blah, blah, blah. My ideal clients are C-level executives and corporate meeting planners. My goal is to add value and get paid speaking engagements and help clients. So it's very clear what I'm trying to do. The next question is, how do you want it to respond? Now I'm putting this up on the screen, not so you have to type all this out. Remember, you're going to get copies of the slides. You're going to get the video replay. You can pause the video and look at this. But setting custom instructions prevents me from having to start over every time I'm trying to ask ChatGPT how to format my content. So these are just some of the things that I tell it to do. I'm going to put it full screen. That way during the video, you guys can pause it later and you can type it out and customize it. The second page of my custom instructions, it's all one. And these don't have to be in any particular order, but I don't want it to waste time telling me it's an AI. I want to limit the use of emojis. I want it to limit URLs in the middle of the response, put them at the end. And most importantly, if you don't understand, I'm telling the AI, ask me more questions before you do. That's a powerful one. And then if the quality of response has been reduced because of my custom instructions, explain the issue. So set your defaults, set your custom instructions, and then whatever tool you're using, they have that too. But now we're going to ramp it up a little bit more. I'm actually going to jump forward a little bit. I'm going to go to Let's go to custom GPTs. Okay, I'm gonna come back if I need to, but for time purposes, I want to go here first. All right, so some of you have my book, Accelerate. It's written for franchisees to go along with a franchise system. But to make it more interesting, I've taken the book and I've uploaded it and created custom GPTs. So a custom GPT is where I've taken my Word document and my manuscript into ChatGPT, and I've said, and I'll show it to you right here. Let's go here. So in ChatGPT, I created 2 custom GPTs. It took me about 10 minutes. One on local networking, because one of the franchisees always need to learn how to network in their community. And so I have a whole section in my book, and I have a ChatGPT GPT trained on how to help franchisees so they don't have to necessarily read the whole book. They can go straight to the GPT and learn how to network, what to say, where to prospect, how to do gift baskets, all those different things that go along with building a local market. And then, of course, how to increase sales. So I have 2 GPTs that I created. Well, you might say, well, that's great, Ford. How did you do that? Well, you don't have to go to this link anymore. You can actually just go into ChatGPT. So I'm going to pull this full screen so you can see it. On the left is my navigation on ChatGPT using a web browser. You'll see the first red arrow. It says Explore GPTs. In the upper right-hand corner, you'll see in ChatGPT, it says Create. So what you're going to do is you're going to log in to your paid account on ChatGPT, the subscriber account, and you're going to go to the upper right-hand corner as you're looking at your screen to create, and that's going to open up the interface that allows you to create the GPT. Now, this is my text. You're going to add it to be yours, okay? So this is where it says Configure. A guide for franchisees to network, to find leads, and offer practical and motivating advice. I have a much longer prompt in here, but I put this for the screen. So I'm describing the instructions that I want the GPT to use. Then I have conversation starters that I typed in. You notice those are, I could stop and start and make those different. And then at the bottom, you can barely see it. It's off the slide a little bit. Let's see if it pops up on this. You can see it. Whoops, wrong button. So upload files. So upload files is where I can take the Word document of that section and upload it. So then there's a few other configurations, but I can either train it to use just my content, and I could upload a lot more content than that. I could have uploaded all my books. I could have uploaded all my articles. I could have uploaded a ton of content and told AI, use the AI engine, but train it on just my content. Custom GPTs, to think about this in layman's terms, it's just like having custom instructions, but you can have lots of different ones. So custom instructions think of that as global settings. Think of GPTs as specific settings for a specific purpose or task. So I have a GPT for intellectual property, for YouTube descriptions and channel descriptions. I have one for generating images. I have one for reviewing contracts from legal. I have one for hiring and best practices. I have one for pre-event questionnaires to ask a meeting planner or a meeting professional or leadership if I'm going to speak to their conference. I have a GPT. I have a GPT that goes out and does research. One of the people on this call right now is Katrina Mitchell. She books me a lot in franchising at franchisespeakers.com. Yes, it's a shameless plug. Go check out franchisespeakers.com. A lot of the people who came today came because of my work with Katrina. And so you can go in there and you can see how it can be customized based on a specific task or item or brand. So that's something you can use. You can create the GPT and make them private. You can make them public. You can deploy them once you've created it. So the key is you have global settings for custom instructions. GPTs are like subsets of custom instructions that just make it easier. And again, if you haven't done it, that's your next action step, is to go play with the GPTs to figure out how you can use them. You can create as many as you want. There's no limit on the GPTs you can create. I would recommend you actually go to ChatGPT and you click Explore GPTs and you look at what's already been created, because there are people who've already created GPTs that are really powerful that is going to say, if you do nothing else but go explore GPTs from this session, you're going to be like, oh, Ford, thank you so much for sharing that. I had no idea. because it's going to cut your learning curve in half or even more. So it's really going to help you. All right, so let's look with the 4 minutes we have left. This is how we're going to end here. We're going to look at how do you adapt and integrate AI. Now, keep in mind at the top of the hour, I'll play the closing and then I'm going to keep the recording going. I'm going to stop the spotlight. I'm going to go back and I'm going to open up questions and I'll stay here and answer questions for you. So here's the deal. Now you know you need to use AI. You know about the pitfalls. You know about what you're going to do. Let's look at I think I have 6 steps. Okay, so the 6 steps to adapt and integrate AI. First, foster a culture of AI literacy with your company. Get training. And training isn't something you did. Training is something you do. So, just because you went to college for sales training or something, that doesn't matter. It's what have you done lately is what I would ask. Number 2, make all the AI tools that you use known and accessible to your team. What do you approve? What don't you approve? And what are the best practices? Number 3, you probably have AI champions on your team that are already using AI. Find out who they are and create a collaboration in your company to cultivate those champions, because they've already probably spent hours and hours and hours and late nights figuring out what works. Use their knowledge and see how you can help them be a part of the AI team. Number 4, incentivize engagement with rewards. You can have a hackathon. When was the last time you had a hackathon, a Friday or a lunch and learn? My team we always do these team building exercises, and it's, we went to Color Me Mine, which is a franchise. I actually have a hold, Katrina, on Color Me Mine, so thank you for that. But we just went there and had our team building exercise. And it was interesting because I called it a lunch and learn, and Devin said, really? Can't we just go to a team event and not have it be a lunch and learn? Can't we just socialize? So yes, I'm still working on that. But incentivize with rewards. I'm going to keep going here where I'm not going to rush here. So we got a couple more minutes. We're fine. Number 5, set up communication channels. I know most of you are using Teams or Slack or some type of tool in your company. Set up a channel for AI tools for wins and challenges. Someone has a challenge, put the challenge in the tool and use it in your team. Next, create policies. And this goes back to what we talked about when we first started a while ago today, which is make sure you create policies to ensure the ethical use and data protection and regulatory compliance. I just can't stress that enough. You just have to make sure that you have policies, because I got news. Your team, they're already using these tools now. So you need to make sure that you properly integrate that. All right. So this is where I'm going to end on, and then I'm going to open it up for some Q&A. I think what I should do, Devin, is we should do like a bonus session on just the tools that I like to use. So I'm going to go, I've got about another minute according to my watch, and my watch is always the right watch. So if you have to drop off, don't worry, you're going to get the video recording. But I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't talk about some of the favorites and some of the ones you've already seen me and heard me talk about today. So I'm going to walk through this list of 16, telling you briefly, and then I'm going to stop the screen share and just go in and open it up for Q&A. I'll keep the recording going. If you're in the witness protection program and I call on you, don't turn your camera on. If you want to turn your camera and mic on, turn it on. Just be respectful, because we do have people from all over the world on this, and no selfish promotions. And if you start to tell me a story versus ask me a question, I'm probably going to cut you off. So questions, yes. Stories, no. Okay. So real quick, as we wrap this up, Zapier, we talked about for automations, make.com, automations, Claude, great writing style. I like Claude. Perplexity, you have to start using that today to practice. I use Perplexity before I use Google now on almost everything. HeyGen is what I use to create videos that use my voice or avatars. And there's another program, number 11, Synthesia, is like PowerPoint, avatars, and video all in one. Number 6, Seamless.ai is what I use for sales intelligence, to go out there and find my leads. Let's say I'm trying to speak at an association. I use Seamless to find out all the board members, all their leadership team, all their cell phones. Yes, you can find all that information online. Sorry, everybody. It's all out there. Descript.com, it's a great editing tool. I like it because it's a great tool, text-based editing, although now Premiere does that, CapCut does that, Adobe or Filmora does that. A lot of the tools use text-based editing, so you no longer have to listen. You can just go to the text and edit like you would a Word document, and it automatically edits your video. Getmunch.com is a great repurposing. So is Murph.ai. Murph.io is what did this voiceover. So just listen to this audio for just a second.
In a world where business success is constantly redefined, Saeks.
Right? That's also AI. And I want you to listen to this. This is AI too. Whole thing.
Thank you for tuning in to Fortify Live. Make sure to like, comment, and share this episode on your favorite social media platform. And don't forget to subscribe to the Business Growth Show podcast, available wherever you get your podcast streaming fix. We air weekly at 11 a.m. Central Time. So until next week, keep pushing the boundaries and never stop growing.
So I did that whole video using Murph, or I did the video myself, but I used the voiceover. I went to Murph.com. I picked the voice I want. I pasted the outro of my weekly show, and it created that. Opus.pro. That's what I'm starting to get used to. Really use. Opus lets me take a video from any platform, Vimeo, YouTube, and you name it. Listen to the video with AI and make short clips. It is cool and it works. I'm just now learning how to use that. Synthesia, I mentioned. Superhuman. Superhuman is my new email tool. So I use Outlook, but I use Superhuman. Superhuman reads my emails, notifies me on the ones that are important, has specific rules, helps me get through my inbox faster. Repurpose.io is similar to Opus. Lumen 5, same thing. Be Human is one I mentioned earlier that lets me do customized videos with the person's voice, or I can do a video where I do a template. Hi, John, this is Ford. Thank you for filling out our form. And then as a template, I can form fill the words. So, hi, Katrina. Hi, Steve. Hi, Devin. Hi, Crystal. And it changes my mouth and makes an AI video with the person's name. And you can't tell. Sometimes you can kind of tell, but since it starts the video, the other 80% of the video is actually me speaking. You don't notice it. And then, of course, 11labs.io. I love 11 Labs. I think I actually have the last video on that. Let's see if I can find that. Where is it? Right here. Here we go. So 11 Labs. Remember the opening story from beginning when I started this? I took
Lovell, trust a few, do wrong to
Life without
picked
love.
the voice.
The thing always happens that you really...
As we are liberated from our own.
Just trust yourself.
Government of the...
A single rose can be my garden.
Imagine it's a typical Monday morning. You're rushing to get ready for work, coffee in hand, and your phone.
And you can see that it actually helps you create an audio from text. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for sticking around. We're going to go ahead and officially say thank you to everybody. Keep in mind, you will get the replay. And if you need the replay, it's at profitrichresults.com/AI-training. All right. Thank you. All right. So now we are going to keep the recording going. Okay. So let's see what we got here. So I'm manually looking at the chat. So again, guys, the official part's over, but I'm going to open up the chat and look at the participants list. And I've got a bunch of people putting comments in. Hi. Oh, so Richard Hall had an AI assistant taking notes. So sometimes we kick those notes takers out. But one of the things you can do is you can use Note Taker. Now here's a tool. This is something that I use. So I always hate it whenever I get a pre-event call. And again, you guys can stick around. We still got about 60 people here. I'm going to stay here and answer questions. You can raise your hand. I should be able to see it on the comments below. If not, put the chat in and I'll see it. But here's a tool I use. It's called Claude. I'm not giving you an affiliate link. It's a little device and it magnets onto the back of my cell phone. And when I have a sales call, I can put the switch up. And then, of course, I can record on my phone. And this is a great little recording device. I used it at the National Speakers Association. If there was a conference I want to listen to, it takes notes. It does a mind map, it transcribes it, and it summarizes all the key points in markdown format. Now, yes, AI can do it, but that tool saves me all the time. It's like $150 on Amazon. Highly recommended if you're doing any type of thing with sales. Let's go down to the next list. We got some people from Slovenia on here, so that's good. Sorry, you missed your influence. Yep, Jan. Hi, hey, Jan. Nice to have you here. Guy Coffee. Nice to see you again. Oh, Guy was here? Okay. Well, thank you. From Frenchies, and he's also an Anytime Fitness franchisee, so thank you so much. Sharon's going to catch up. Let's go down to the bottom. Okay, so Devin put the tools in for AI tools. Thank you, Devin, for doing that. Can't recommend so Guy, can't recommend him highly enough for a franchise system. You had him in Mexico. Yes, you did. And my wife loved Cancun. So if you're going back, I might even pay to go back in Cancun. I'm not kidding. It was a great time. So, and you have a great family of franchisees. Let's go down. Okay, Ford. Andrew says, can you set up ChatGPT using LinkedIn newsletter articles? Yes. So Andrew, who's also a Stage Time University member, you can take your articles, Andrew, because I know you're in a very specialized field in engineering. You can create a custom GPT, upload all your articles, and then create a little mini-me, Andrew, that can answer questions or for your company. So it absolutely can do that. Devin had to leave for the dentist. Okay, Crystal, thanks. Let's keep going. Great presentation. Oh, yeah. So this is something I didn't put on during I'll leave that up right now. So for those of you that stuck around, if you want to ask personal questions for me, you can go to 15withford.com. It gives you direct access to my schedule. We'll jump on Zoom. I'll share the screen and I can go and answer some other questions for you if you want to do that. Rob says, what is it called? Can you put it in the chat? So Robin, if you're still here, I'm not sure what you asked, what it's called, but I'm happy to answer it if you want to type it back in if you're still here. Let's go. What is the tool called for the phone? So the tool on the phone that I use is called Claude, but in the phone, any app like ChatGPT, Perplexity, or Claude, you can use your phone and talk to it. So you can use the app. As far as the device I use is called Plaud, Plaud. Check it out on Amazon. That's the recording tool that I use. Yeah, so Phoebe, hey, nice to hear you. Say, give Will a hug for me, will you? And then, okay, yeah. So Crystal says, thank you, Crystal, for answering that. Give me examples of what not to put in ChatGPT. Okay, so Katrina, if you're still actually here, look, don't put data into ChatGPT that you don't want shared with a large language model. But if you're asking it to help you do a pre-event questionnaire or maybe write a contract or maybe review a contract as a speakers bureau, one of the top bureaus out there, AI can help you answer questions and formulate proposals, can help you evaluate large data. You have a lot of Zoom calls. You can upload your Zoom call transcript into ChatGPT and say, I want you to review this transcript. I want you to give me a detailed report, not a summary. If you ask for a summary, it might leave things out. So when I use transcripts for a summary, I'll say, I just had a sales call with Color Me Mine. They're interested in hiring me to speak at their event. Please review the pre-call questionnaire and the pre-sales call and sort all the data out for my CRM. Make sure I know who I need to send information to, what information and by when. I give it very clear instructions that I can use, and that's certainly powerful. So that works out great. Ellen says, how to upload my IP books or other articles. Need to read it, type it, or specific. So Ellen, you can just go to AI and take your Word document. Now, depends on which program you use and how many characters it has, but the AI tools now allow much larger prompts, so much larger data. And you can upload your book and your IP straight in. You can create a custom GPT, like we talked about, or upload it straight into ChatGPT and it'll do it for you. What did you say HeyGen was set up for? So Marilyn, hey Marilyn, front row, Hall of Fame keynote speaker, Marilyn. So Marilyn, what I would recommend is use HeyGen to help you create videos with your avatar. So maybe you have Marilyn's front row insights. And I know you're always going to record your own content first because that's what your clients are paying for. But maybe you're doing a training or something where you're using AI to either clone yourself or make an assistant, an avatar, share content. Kate says, what's the best way to create an email blast to customers from a company or blog post? Well, a couple different tactics you got going on there, Kate, but certainly AI, ChatGPT, any of the tools can help you write an email. Zapier can help you actually create the email, customize the email, and send the email depending on what tool you're using. So if you're using Zoho or Aweber, Constant Contact, or one of those other tools, certainly you can do that. Now, as far as customers from a blog post, what you're asking, and Kate's saying the same thing. So if you have a blog post where you actually have captured their names. Now, we're going to go into marketing for just a second. Look, the purpose of marketing is just giving people enough information they can make good decisions. It's not selling, it's not hype, it's not manipulation. It's giving them enough information that they can make a good decision at the context they're in. So if I'm reading a blog post, it makes sense at the end of your blog post to give me some ways to learn more. Do you have a lead magnet? Keys, ways, secrets, ideas, tactics, myths, and pick a number. 7 keys, 4 myths, 5 secrets. And at the end of the blog post, whatever the content is, if you have a lead magnet that's relevant to the content, then you can certainly offer it. The lead magnet does what it says. It helps you capture the lead, right? It helps you capture the lead so that you can then go back and add them to your list and then send it out. Now, we still have several people here, so I'll stay for a little bit longer for some questions. Keep in mind, we did end officially a few minutes ago, but I'm happy to stay here. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me and happy to answer some more questions with this. Can AI create a workflow that integrates with Shopify? Yes, absolutely. So my wife's business, Centerworks.com, she sells foot fitness and health related products on a Shopify store. And Shopify, the reason I liked it is because it interfaces with all the social media programs, offers one-click buying. Well, both Zapier and Make.com can work with workflows between Shopify. So go check them out. Thank you, John, for the best wishes there. All right, everybody, it looks like we've come to the end of the questions, so I'm going to go ahead and officially stop the broadcast. Thank you so much for sticking around. Again, if you have questions, you can go to talkwithford.com. Appreciate everybody being here. Thanks for the clapping. Thanks for all the stuff, Robert and everybody. And I will see you probably in 60 days, 45 days, whenever Devin, my boss, tells me I can have another presentation, because this topic is constantly changing. Don't get seduced by technology. Start simple, get complicated later. That's it, everybody. Bye for now.